Hi, what I want to talk to you about today is the worries and fears that people face when they have to stand up in public. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking to various people about what those worries are and what those fears are, and the answers have been pretty consistent. The two main fears are, firstly, they'll muddle their words. The words will run into each other, or they'll forget them, or they'll muddle their message. So it's about the delivery. And the second one is that their audience will see their fear. The audience will see how nervous they are. And running on from that, that gives a sense of unprofessionalism, or the fact that you might not know what you're talking about. So I thought I'd do a video on my 4 best tips for how to deal with those fears and produce your best when you stand up in public. Now, in the longer term, it would be about looking at why you undermine yourself and you don't have faith that you can do well in public, and how you would then build that faith in yourself so that you can stand up and feel good enough and do a good enough job. But in the short term, these are 4 things to think about when you're about to stand up in public. Now, the first one is to engage the room. Often as not, we shy away from engaging the room because we fear 2 things. Firstly, that if we engage with the room, we will become more nervous, not less nervous. And I've heard many people say that when they've been taught how to speak to people, they're taught to talk over their heads. I would disagree with that, because my experience is when you look at your room and you engage your room, you will see that they're not as scary as you think they are. And in reality, they're just human beings just like you. So that's the first reason to engage with them, because you won't feel more nervous. You will likely as not feel less nervous. The second reason people avoid engaging with their room is that they fear that if they engage with their room, the room will see how nervous they are, and they will be able to see through this facade that they've built up and see how crap they are underneath. Again, not true. The reality is people are there because they want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear what your message is. They're just humans. The room is 999 times out of 1,000 on your side, and if it's not on your side, it's only usually a small percentage that might be cynical. The vast majority are there because they want to hear what you have to say and they want you to get your message across. So when you engage with them, you allow them to engage with you, which creates that dialogue. And it also allows you to see them as human beings and then actually feel supported by them, as opposed to that fear of criticism. When I lift my head and I look at my audience, they all want me to do well. They want to hear what I have to say. They're usually smiling at me and I smile back at them. And that dialogue supports you feeling confident in what you're doing. So engage with your room is my tip number 1. Tip number 2 is focus on your message. What do you want your audience to take away from what you have to say? By focusing on your message as opposed to how you get your message across, as opposed to the delivery, that does 2 things. Firstly, it makes it more likely that your audience will get your message. If you're focusing on the delivery, then you're not thinking about your message and you are less likely to deliver your message. It makes it simpler for you as well, because you're thinking about your message, and therefore when you sit down, you're more likely to have given your message. The second thing it does is it takes your focus away from yourself and you as the deliverer. It means you're focusing on your message and less on how well or badly you are delivering your message. So tip number 2, what's your message? Focus on that. Tip number 3 is actually we all engage with people, not perfection. So often when we stand up in public, we're trying to achieve perfection. We think that the best performance, the best speech, the best introduction is the perfect one, where we've nailed it. But people don't really engage with perfection. Perfection can seem shiny and off-putting and slick and sometimes unbelievable, you don't always want to work with people who are that slick and that perfect. You do want to work with people who are authentic and show you genuine emotions and who they really are. That's what people engage with, but for all sorts of different reasons, psychological and neurobiological, we engage with people and authenticity. So when you make a mistake, it's simply showing that you're human. And I would lay money on the fact that everybody else in that room will have made the same mistake or a similar mistake to the one you've made. If you've stumbled over your words, hands up. Anyone seen me in public? I have stumbled over my words. I've stumbled over my words in this video. It doesn't matter. It matters how you handle it and how you be authentic through that so that people can engage with you and connect with you, because that's what matters to your audience. So tip number 3, people connect with people, not perfection. So be human, it's okay. Finally, my 4th and obviously my most important tip is enjoy it. Again, there are all sorts of neurobiological reasons and psychological reasons why this works, but we all remember the teachers and lecturers and talks we've been to where the person really enjoys their subject and is really obviously interested in it. And they're the subjects we remember because we enjoyed them too. If you enjoy and are interested in your subject, your audience is 1,000 times more likely to be interested and enjoy what you have to say. So go out and enjoy it, not just for your sake, although that's really important, but also for your audience's sake. I hope you've enjoyed my 4 tips and hope to speak to you soon. Bye-bye.